Welcome to your magical moon message. This is a peace dealer. Moon in Taurus, Sun in Virgo, natural mastery happening right now. Ninth house to the Sun in Virgo, Ascension coming into the higher definition of the Moon in Gemini. 10th house aspect during a quarter square that will lead us to the balsamic phase en route to a new moon. What does all of this mean? Burgers and aliens. But forget all of that. The moon in Taurus is natural receptivity to the value of this change of your lifestyle and routine is making itself exceptionally grounded in its quality for you to ninth house of vision perceive really through your senses. Now that we are harvesting the results of this change of behavior, how much stronger do you physically express through the philosophy of your values, your behavior and lifestyle? Post full moon, we are now seeing more the evidence of the seeds you have sown as you reap what you sow. As you also get projections from individuals that cannot accept or take accountability for their own rhetoric flaws and fallacies and continue to just project all sorts of negativity and hate because that's where they're at their low ass level. It's not that you are any higher, it's that they lower themselves with that nature of behavior. And if they want to be down there, it doesn't affect you up here. I see you. Okay, it's as simple as that. Negative people always try and bring you down. They try and create drama to bring you down because that's where they at. That's where they at. Some of them are gonna stay there. Okay, cool. Anyway, the moon is going over the north node and of course Uranus. So this downloading of phenomena and material energy, natural energy, is not only unconventional in its alignment to literal destiny, but relative to this monthly update, okay, it's going to update how much more unconventionally you feel into the abstract, supernatural, elemental nature of this. Are you ready? Natural energy. This means that, especially with Virgo and Mercury, that's going to be retrograding more back into Virgo subsequently later, you're going to be sensing sharper, you're going to be smelling sharper, you're going to be hearing sharper, you're going to be sensing stuff physiologically sharper. The Sun in Virgo is your critical awareness and the experience of what your body physically experiences. So if Taurus is your physical senses, then Virgo is your ability to analyze critically with your physical senses. That's why the earth signs are grounded, and you can't really try and talk to Tauruses about, like, if you want to see a very funny conversation, go watch the interview with DJ Academics interviewing Kevin Gates about how Kevin Gates laid his hands on a charger and electrified it. It's a beautiful conversation because Aquarius is playing Aquarius. Like Aquarius knows that they represent the supernatural in a world that, of course, I respect Taurus in their groundedness. They're not going to believe anything that's not scientifically sound. So you see academics like desperately struggling to try and believe Kevin Gates is telling the truth. And academics is a Taurus. Like, you're not going to try and woo-woo bullshit Tauruses. They need facts. But Kevin Gates is an Aquarius. His spirit literally harnesses lightning and electricity. So it's not far off to think they may be lying, but it's not far off to think they could be telling the truth. And that's the classic square between heaven and earth, Aquarius and Taurus. Watch that part of the interview. It's amazing. Only so that you can see the limits with which Taurian awareness goes to. It's good for grounding things, but it's not the best for looking beyond. Okay, that's what Aquarius lets you do. We stand on the stars to go beyond the Pisces. So how do we bridge this? How do we take the moon in Taurus that's squaring Saturn in Aquarius? You're taking advanced knowledge and you're grounding these higher concepts in physical ways you can tangibly grasp. In ways that it's not enough to think about, you can communicate with your body And it's the Virgoan sun awareness that's going to integrate the natural values you're standing on into your reality. So this is going to strengthen all the abilities you've been developing. And this is really beautiful because a lot of the skepticism and doubt towards the controversial nature of even talking about superpowers isn't based on any reality. It's more just based on doubt. It's more just based on straw men that people believe to put the magnifying glass on frauds and scammers while ignoring everyone else who's not only adept, but other ways of looking at something that's not traditionally seen for what it is anyway. Don't let the peace dealer go in, because I have a Gemini sun. I could do this all day. I could do this all day. It's the magician, baby. So anyway, I need to really applaud those of you who are, it's very revolutionary to just, I'm not saying like there's the Neptune creates such a blur because there's so many people who are seemingly doing the same things. You have people who are standing up to champion an identity that's different from the norm, but not everyone who is doing it right. You have some people who are doing it in ways that spread toxic rhetoric and mislead people to the facts. And then you have other people who are doing it in ways that are unconventional, but still aligned with the truth, the integrity of the truth. A lot of the narrative that's changing with how Virgo of analysis transforms the knowledge of Aquarius is going to be grounded with the understanding of this moon in Taurus. And so, like we do every month, the Uranus moon aspect in Taurus is going to hyper accelerate your understanding to naturally ground and manifest the evolution of your character post moon Jupiter. It's very important because we have done this every month, but this is the first month, unless you're an earth sign. Earth signs will notice this regardless of the month because you have the awareness. But this is the first month that you're going to notice these changes because the sun's in Virgo. And so the ninth house axis is going to have you analyze and see into, whoa, I didn't notice this about my body before, but this has always been happening. And they're so quantum, they're so subtle that it's the causality of what usually has been happening that the Virgo sun will help you notice the details of that will induce change and radical breakthrough. This is important because the philosophical grounding, remember, the ninth house nature of this is working in your philosophy, unconventional and supernatural dynamics and mechanics, so that like Minecraft, you can build this into your behavioral output and how you behave. The moon in Aries helped you understand more how to understand your identity and how your behavior around who you are is changing. Well, the moon in Taurus is manifesting this and grounding this in the philosophy with which you move with your body language and breaking through all sorts of doubt that is based on fear because you fear what you don't understand. And many of you are breaking through with concepts that, most people assumed only existed in science fiction. Now you're reading people's minds in front of their face and they have to project on you that you're being weird or it's just some weird coincidence. And now because they're weak, they have to gaslight you. Okay, don't let your supernatural brilliance trigger inferiority complexes in others. You can't control what they do, but you don't have to let that dim your light, which is a very vague message in light of everything else that's happening, but one I want to move forward with because once the moon goes into Gemini, the ball is going to roll so fast, y'all. Like this, we're going to see things hyper accelerate so quickly as we streamline quick through Libra, all right, and hit the second boss battle. In light of that, I hope you're practicing because the purpose of Virgo season is to practice, improve and make perfect. Because when we go into Libra, we bracken, okay? We write it down, all that shit. Like it's not a peaceful Libra transit at all. It's the last Pluto square. It's the second boss battle. And a lot of people who may have felt that they could have treated you any certain way are going to try to, and they're not going to realize you've been practicing. You've been mastering your skills, and a snap of the finger, that's they ask. Okay. What's really cool about today is everything that you have evolved, everything that you have boosted forward, you're practically materializing. And the foundation of this grounded earthiness will enable you to change your ideas around the success you think is possible and the legacy of this transit. Okay, the legacy and meaning of what you harvested through the full moon, so that this will change the way you think about how you're behaving socially with other people. I hope that this message inspires inspires you to smack earth, wind, and fire out of people crossing your boundaries and not respecting your private space, you can kick them in the nuts if you have to. I hope this transit inspires you to put people in their place who feel like they can issue double standards against you without taking accountability for it. I hope this transit enables you to completely rip to shreds the confidence of people whose egos are getting way too much to their heads, and you just need to bring out some receipts and remind them that they are still a bitch and will always be a bitch. I hope this transit inspires you to even point out the inconsistencies within your own behavior so that you can correct it, balance it, and then keep on moving as gloriously as you is. The quality, Taurus, of details, Virgo, that you're going to be analyzing will bring so much more confidence the more aligned to your uniqueness that you are. And it's going to feel weird as fuck. So you will have the decision square Saturn and Aquarius to align more to the mainstream narrative that might be false, or to align more to your uniqueness that might not be popular. Okay, the whole notion between Uranus and Taurus and Saturn Aquarius is this. Taurus is the lower sign in Aquarius, so Taurus is going to be slower. The Uranus and Taurus may not be in an integrated society that is selling mass-produced whole foods, but they're farming and homesteading their own things. They're ahead, even though they're behind. Uranus is innovating the quality for them to have independence, even though it's not as high quality as the Aquarius. The Aquarius will give you the mainstream stuff, but it's not nearly as Taurian natural. It's probably processed. It might not be healthy for you. It might be part of population control. The lesson is balance. One isn't necessarily better than the other. Find ways to incorporate both, but move towards the Uranus, because that's where the North Node is, and you have to challenge yourself to seemingly downgrade. Some of you are worried about lessening the quality of your life, but you shouldn't. The trade-off is you might lessen the quality of your life and gain more independence and autonomy versus giving that away so that you can increase the seeming quality of your life. That's the dilemma with the square, but it doesn't have to be a dilemma. Virgo season is going to help you change your lifestyle so that you can make both work for you and you not have to really be a slave to either. Not that, and that's a false dilemma, because it's not just those two you have to choose between. But regardless, the most important thing I want to bring with this is you're going to also be aware in a natural, subtle way of how to harness the natural, subtle, natural energy flowing through you so that you can utilize it for greater effect, stockpile it for energy, and do real practical things like charge energy in your body so you don't even need to sleep. The reason why you need to sleep is to restore energy. Well, what if you had means to recharge the natural electrical energy in your body that could probably perhaps have you last longer before you have to charge and sleep, if you have to at all? Open up to unconventional attributes of your body and mind being made plainly aware that go against the norm of what you were taught, because what you were taught was a lie. You stay blessed as always, and you keep on breaking through. You stay blessed, and until next time, Godspeed. Peace.